Alright, time for another flight across Nebraska. This time we are starting out in Kearney, just to get us back up north. We got a drag strip that we're going to instantly see, building that does, well, used to at least do kart racing. I don't know if they have done it in a while. And then we're going to head over to Dawson County. Got an actual couple of tracks over there to look at, although two of them aren't there. And then we'll head to North Platte for the Lincoln County Raceway. And that's kind of the end of the road, but we will head out on another flight out onto the western bit so that we can check out the paved oval that's out there. This is what we're flying today, V-tail Bonanza, and yeah, I haven't flown it. It was on sale, so I said, let's give that a try. So, what way is the wind blowing? Can we figure that out? Let's get weather from Kearney.
Kilo Echo Alpha Romeo, automated weather observation 16000.
Alright, north.
Wind 356 at 1 tree.
So this is an airport that I have flown into as a kid. I obviously was not flying, but with my dad multiple times. And yeah, I mean, obviously this is all AI generated and not a built airport. Omaha's still the only one that they have anything for, which is kind of disappointing. But when you got the whole world to build for, not many people are going to be building to make money Nebraska airports, especially when a lot of the game is focused on airlines, or at least a lot of the community. We got some random trees that are definitely not there. Just the AI thought some bushes or something were trees. And yeah, the wind is out of the north for sure. Oops. Just hard to do braking smoothly. But I do not know how to fly this yet. We'll have to struggle with trying to get the autopilot to work. I think it's a simple click. We'll find out once we get into the air. There might be a switch or something somewhere else that I gotta hit as well. But we've got a couple of things to quickly look at here, and then we'll need autopilot. So let's roll out here. Hopefully the audio is all good since I switched back headsets and that's changed up the volume of everything. This thing gets pretty quiet though once you throttle up. So I don't think we're going to have as much noise as we've previously had. Alright, so we are in the air, and our very first track to see is this old portion of the airport. I believe that's what this is. Go over here and see the old runway, which is going to have a very noticeable drag strip on one end of it. Never been there, because drag racing has never never been something that has interested me, but there we go. I think that might be the only drag strip in Nebraska, pretty sure. But we will head straight off of this, and actually we're probably not even going to be able to see the fairgrounds because it'll be AI generated, but let's see if I can altitude hold right here. Is that doing it? Cool. Alright, back this down. That's throttle. That is RPM. And then we've got our heading select. Let's see, that's going to be here. Let's see if we can get this to work first try. Hey, it's already set on it instead of GPS. Cool. Alright, so we got the new highway going around Kearney. God, it's been forever since I've been to Kearney. I do not actually know where the fairgrounds are. I mean, I should, but it's been so damn long. So let's just go straight west into town, because the new highway going out from I-80 around the airport or around the National Guard complex and then back into town. I'm not 100% sure on where I'm actually at. We're definitely not getting up very high though. Let's pop outside real quick. Does this retract or is it always down? It must always be down. Okay. Alright, so are we really, yeah, we're really north, okay. That explains things. We'll go down the main road here, and then that might trigger some memories on where the fairgrounds are. Might actually be back there. If we don't see it, we don't see it, because it's just a building and it's meaningless, because it's not even the actual building, since it'll be AI generated. But yeah, they've had, I think my brother raced dirt bikes in there, you know, just the winter stuff that you can fit in a big barn. There's the Kearney Mall that I highly doubt has anything left in it. It was dying before malls started to die, and it's not much of a mall anyways. But yeah, I think that's the fairgrounds over there. So that little building, I think right there. Race go-karts in, and then we're going over the high school, and there'll be the college over here. And you know what, we're gonna just take Highway 30 back to Lexington. That is gonna be the college, UNK. See their football field, their stands have been turned into a building. And that is Highway 30 that I need to be turning onto. It's okay. Highway 30 and the interstate are pretty much attached. Do I have vertical speed? I don't think I have vertical speed. Let's go ahead and take that off and climb up a little bit here. So I'm just gonna autopilot off and fly ourselves for a bit, because there's not gonna be a whole lot to look at here. We'll get up to 35. That should get us high enough. So I didn't look at the map to see what all is still around at where I first raced go-karts. But there's at least going to be a motocross track there. Alright, so let's go we got the railroad track that we are going to follow. And Highway 30 is going to eventually meet up with it. And that is taking our way back. Then we got the Platte River there. I-80. And tons of farmland. This is more of the Platte Valley. So the hills will start to push further away that way, get closer on this side, and yeah, not a whole lot to see out here. Bunch of random trees and fields because the AI gets confused and puts trees where they shouldn't be. We're going about 160 knots, although I bet we could get a better reading if I switch to... There we go, 165 ground speed. So we will get there quickly. Let's just make sure that I'm not running anything too bad. Probably pull the mixture. Oh, I think it was auto mixtured. RPM back just a little bit to get it to 25. Okay, that is good. And we just went over, what's that? Is that, I think that might be Elm Creek. Tiny, pointless town. That's practically Kearney now. Maybe not. Like I said, I have not been back here in a long time. I think that this might actually be Elm Creek. Or is Elm Creek south? See, when you get old, your brain starts smashing everything that was once in your head together. So I'm gonna go look so that I'm not saying stupid things. Kearney, and then that first one was Odessa. Okay, I got that one wrong. This is Elm Creek. Alright. So, interstate, getting closer to 30. It'll start getting further away in a second. Not much here. Got a sort of truck stop here, but it's like really not much of one. And then more, and more, and more. Farmland. So let's get turned a little bit more onto 30. It didn't have heading on. Because we're going to come up on Overton, and then after that is going to be the motocross track and possibly dirt go-kart track that I helped work on for a summer, or that dirt track will be gone because it's been so long, and it'll just be a motocross track. Then Lexington will be up in the distance, where got Dawson County Raceway, where I spent many Sundays at. do a little flyover at the airport, but I don't think the airport still has any buildings. But the airport in Lexington is essentially where I learned to drive. Just had a little 2-seater go-kart that I got to run around all over the place. Out here, and we've got a lot of popping in directly below us. Okay, we won't look down, just look at this angle. Yeah, the Platte and the interstate go a little bit left, 30 goes a little bit to the right. We've got Overton here. And a very flat golf course. If you grow up in the Platte Valley, you learn to golf on very flat courses. There is the town of Overton, and that's supposed to be grain bins down there, or covered grain. Not sure which, but it's definitely not a big hotel or business office like that. I think this... Where is the golf course? I think this is the golf course. Yeah. So it's got houses around it. Oh, man. Come on, game. Stop popping in scenery like that. But yeah, you're not going to be able to tell much other than... Is that the golf course? That seems really small. Yeah, it is. God, the coloring on it looks like it was flooded. Maybe it was, but nothing else around here looks like it. So now up ahead is Lexington, but our first little bit of looking at is just up ahead here. Slow things down just a bit, and altitude hold here, get it on this. One of these days I'm going to hit the right knob the first time. So, CNS Auto was out here, and we had a little go-kart track that was in... it was in this field. Then we had a go-kart track over here, and now it's a motocross track. Yeah, I think the racetrack was... No, the racetrack was right here, the go-kart track, and then the other go-kart track was here. But now it's a motocross track, and yeah, I think pretty much every track I've ever been on is now gone. Wow, that popping in is really bad. We're gonna have to get higher or something. But first we'll head over here. We got IBP, so that's gonna put Tyson as it is now. I'm not sure why the scenery is popping in so bad around here. So we should have Dawson County Raceway or Platte Valley Speedway or whatever you might want to call it up here. Right there, 3/8 mile. This road right here, it's got two of the best taco places in town. One right there and then this one, but they seem to rarely ever be open when I go into Lex. But yeah, there is the racetrack. And yes, when I was a little kid, someone did end up in the field. back behind it through the trees. Stands have been turned into apartment buildings, but good little racetrack, and it is. It's been a long time since I've been there, though. And then there is the airport that I used to race around all these ramps, but it has changed a bit. It looks like it's also still doesn't have buildings that AI generates, so. Off over there is the big lake, Johnson Lake, that has an awesome road around it that would make for a fun little time trial track. But let's go ahead and gain some altitude here and try. Autopilot's just gonna hold, I guess. Let's try to get away from that scenery pop in. Here. So yeah, Johnson Lake over there. At 5,000 feet. Let's go to 6,000. As we get a little closer to Scotts Bluff, we're gonna, or not Scotts Bluff, North Platte, we're gonna start seeing the world change a tiny bit. And then as we head out to Scotts Bluff, it's gonna change a whole lot. There we go. Line it up with the Platte. That'll take us to North Platte. Just put the heading hold on there. Let's see if that's stopped the scenery pop in. It has. Alright. Good news. So yeah, the road around Johnson Lake would be awesome, especially this little complex over here around the marina. Be a lot of fun to get that. There's a little grass strip right there, and yeah, so you see that we start getting these hills or higher land up on the hills, so it's still a bit flat even outside of the valley. Then we got Cozad here. North Platte is going to be up there somewhere. We should be. Let's go ahead and just put it in direct and see how far we are. See if I remember this correctly. Hey, look at that. We are 40 miles away from it. And we can probably just go ahead and go nav, and it'll turn us to it. There we go. All right. Right on track. So, yeah, we got Cozad right here, and not a whole lot there. Apparently, I guess the only thing I know about Cozad is there's a meridian that runs through it, I believe. So they have a nice big sign that says that. That's about all I know. Yeah, you can see, even though this is kind of like a fall aerial image, you can see that landscape's just starting to change a bit. And if we get further north, it's going to be a lot of sandy hills, kind of like this sand here in the Platte River. That's a whole different thing. We got Kozad's Airport. I mean, it's really dumb how there's so many airports, because we got Lex, Kozad. I mean, Nebraska has so many municipal airports and then private airports that it's a lot. There's some AI generated because of cloud cover or something happened there. I believe they are shutting down the Gothenburg airport, or are in the process of getting that approved. But yeah, other than that, McCook used to have a quarter-mile track, but it has been gone for a long time, so it's no point in going there. I believe Arapahoe, south of Johnson Lake, has a motocross track, but as you get out here to the west, where there's a hell of a lot less people, there's also a lot less racetracks. And Lincoln County Raceway is kind of the end of the road there, but we will head out to the Scottsbluff area. We might take a faster aircraft from North Platte to Scottsbluff, just because that's a big old chunk of distance. Let's hop out here, yeah. So, Gothenburg, another airport. Each of them have a paved and then grass strip. Although Lexington's proposing having a second paved strip, which is really pointless. But they're talking about getting rid of that and putting an industrial building on it. So that will be gone. And then we got the interstate, and we got Highway 30, and they nearly touch just over here. It's really weird because you can see the highway traffic and the interstate traffic. Then I think they just, at one point, just come together. I think somewhere along the way they just say, hey, let's make this one road instead of two. So what do we got? We got 25 miles or 9 minutes till North Platte. We're going to go straight over the airport and head out to the northwest part of town to go look at the racetrack. It's got a mini sprint track on the inside of it, or it did. They had a go-kart track on the outside of it at one time. I raced go-karts on the mini sprint track on the inside, which it sucked. I hated racing there because it was just all about motor. And I was never fast at the big tracks. I needed to be in the flat tracks. But yeah, here we go. Now you start seeing, I think some of this is cloud cover though, but you start seeing a little bit of change in the scenery. Get that kind of western ranch feel. And as we approach North Platte, you're going to start seeing a little bit more. And then after North Platte, it quickly changes. We'll go to Chimney Rock on our way to Scottsbluff, just because we're essentially now flying the Oregon Trail, if you ever played that game. From Kearney up to the Chimney Rock, stopping at, I don't know if there was anything like Buffalo Bill or anything like that for North Platte, but North Platte might have been on the game. But yeah, there's the highway, the railroad, and the interstate. I didn't even know there was an exit right at that point. There's not an exit right at that point. It's just an overpass. Never mind. I saw those and thought they were on ramps. Nope. Yeah, so very, very strange. But closing in on North Platte, and yeah, you see the bit of sandiness showing itself. This is the southern portion of the sand hills. It gets really, really sandy up there. And then these start getting cut a little bit deeper out here. Got a bit of cloud cover rolling in. I don't think there's any rain. I'm on live weather right now, although not live time. Take a look at this, and there is a little bit of rain out there, but we're not going to get to it. Alright, so that is the airport, which it doesn't feel, I guess we are kind of headed towards it. Let's just line this up. We're going to take this onto heading instead of nav. We will fly on over. Wonder if there's another airport past North Platte that we could land at. I mean, there is, but how far do we want to go? Just double check that I remember where the racetrack is. This has got one of the biggest rail yards, and we're gonna see that as we get to the racetrack. What is past North Platte that we can land at? Nothing. So I guess we'll turn around and land at North Platte, or could just Ogallala is probably too far away, and yeah, we'll save that for a faster plane. Make sure the ground's not popping anymore. There's the Platte River. Or wait, is it? That's the Platte River. It's all the Platte River probably. But yeah, there's the airport up ahead. look for a very large rail yard, which I think is that area. "35 minutes into this, so by the time we fly out to the racetrack and then back to the airport, that'll be a good length video. Let's check the wind direction here. Yep, to the north again. Okay. Good to know. So I think, I don't even know if that north to south runway is a active runway. It might be. But we can land in this direction if we have to. So there's a little building over here that I race tracks in, or race karts in. Very flat, short track. But I was very, very good there because it didn't take a motor. And kind of like iRacing, people really didn't know how to slow down for corners or set up a pass off the corner. So that made me much better than everyone else there. But here is North Platte. And Lincoln County Raceway should be right there. Let's take a look at the airport from above as we fly over it. I really did not know that this runway was so far away from the FBO. And I've been in this airport, but for some reason I thought the FBO was there. Pretty sure my dad flies in here. My brother used to fly in here a lot. Yeah, that's definitely an active runway there, so we will land north-south there and then go park. And we're headed over to that direction, so slow things down again, turn it just slightly. I'm going to stay up higher though, since we're having weird loading images. But let's see if we can find that building, if it's even still there. So there's a little go-kart track down here, like one of the fun places. I don't know, that building right there maybe is what we raced in, or there, but yeah, Cody Park or whatever it's called. There's a little kart track there. I think that was the first place I ever got to drive a go-kart. And then the town of North Platte. This I consider the start of western Nebraska. So we would come here and race when there was big events, or it was raining in Grand Island at Mid-Continent and it wasn't raining over here. There is the racetrack. Yep. Let's get ourselves turned a little more. And then, yeah, there's the big rail yard here. Lincoln County, a very sandy track. Then there's the mini sprint micro go-kart track on the inside. And yeah, this thing has got some very tight turns as well. It's got some long straights and tight turns. It's more like a Pennsylvania type track, but it does have a little bit of banking to it, but you can tell it's a really just sandy track with its light color. And yeah, that is where I've raced. Let's get turned back to the airport. Can I just go nav? Will that turn us around? Turn heading off. Nav. Doesn't like that. Alright. Let's turn autopilot off. Get ourselves turned around. Try to get lined up. First time landing this thing, so it's gonna be ugly. Alright, get that mouse down a little lower so it stops triggering. And we could probably do this pretty shallow turn in. What is the elevation? We don't want Kearney. Apparently it cleared when we crossed over it. Oh well. Won't worry about it. We'll just look out the windows and see what the elevation is. Alright, this should be far enough out. I'm just going to kind of get to the base of the hills here. Get some of the speed burnt off. It's going to get noisy for a second. Gear is out now. That caused some drag. This thing's a bit sensitive on the yoke, so it's not going to be a pretty landing. Trim it up just a little bit here. Just kind of looking at my map to the right, get an idea of when right at that first marker is going to be obviously the smart place to turn, since we got those lining us up with the runway. We're clearly going to be doing a hard left here, but We'll be good to do that. Just how early do we go? Because it isn't going to just make a 90 degree. This is a little sharper than a 90, but slow it down a little bit more. A bit too high. A little bit bouncy. That was definitely not that difficult. I thought we were going to be way too close in, but lined up before we even get to the interstate. Get some flap out just so we can use a little bit more throttle. Man, this thing is draggy. There we go. We got a red light. I believe that's a red light. Or it's just some red dirt. Might just be a 2-light system. Yeah, I think it's just a front and back pappy light. That's what it's called. Maybe. Still a little high. Doesn't seem like it, but that is what it's telling me. Got to be just skirting up above the red. Full flaps, there we go. Got the red and white. Keep it red and white. Too red, but we got a long ways to the threshold, so fine. And okay, that was smooth. Might have been my best landing. Not actually a whole lot of wind, but it was only 6, so. Again, this is all AI generated buildings, so it's not going to reflect what North Platte looks like. We will go ahead and make a left turn here, get ourselves parked, and call that good. Not as many racetracks to see, but like I said, further out west you get here, the less we get, and really the next one is only going to have one racetrack, but a whole different looking scenery as we fly out into the far west Nebraska. A little hot in that turn. We will park here. And yeah, we are one flight away from getting to the west, to the border of Wyoming, but that is a long flight that we're going to have to do. So, I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching.